When I turned 65, I started to notice something strange. Every morning when I got out of bed, my legs no longer responded with the same steadiness as before. Taking the first steps was hard, as if I lacked strength in the muscles that used to carry me anywhere without effort. At first I thought it was normal, just age. But over time I discovered it wasn't only the passing of the years, it was also what I was doing wrong every morning. Our legs are our foundation. They let us stand up, walk, climb stairs, keep our balance, and above all, preserve our independence. Losing strength in them doesn't just mean having less energy. It means risking the freedom to move without help. And the truth is that many older adults discover too late that much of that weakness doesn't come only from age, but from daily habits, especially diet. Today I want to talk to you about something that radically changes the way your body responds. What you eat in the morning. Breakfast, that moment we sometimes overlook, can be the key to slowing the loss of muscle mass in the legs. If you choose the right foods, you can stay strong, active, and with enough vitality to keep walking with confidence, even after 70 or 80. In this video, I'm going to share which foods best help preserve muscle mass, how you can incorporate them into your daily routine without complications, and why doctors insist that morning nutrition is the best defense against weakness and loss of mobility. This isn't about complicated diets or spending more money. It's about making better choices when you decide what to have for breakfast. Stay with me until the end, because in addition to practical tips, you'll also hear real stories of people who transformed their mornings and regained strength in their legs. I'm sure that when you finish this video, you'll see your breakfast in a completely different way. Before we continue, I'd love to get to know you a little more. How old are you, and from which country are you watching this video? Leave it in the comments so we can better understand the great community of older adults who share this path toward a longer, stronger life. Why legs weaken with age? When you reach a certain age, signs begin to appear that once went unnoticed. Walking a block can feel heavier, climbing a few steps brings on fatigue, and even standing for a few minutes becomes a challenge. Behind all of this is a silent process that advances with the years and has a name: sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the gradual loss of muscle mass that naturally occurs as we age. It doesn't appear overnight. It advances little by little, almost without our noticing. Studies show that from around 60 years onward, this process accelerates, and if measures aren't taken, it can mean a loss of strength of up to half compared with youth. This isn't a simple biological detail. It's one of the main causes of frailty in older adults. Why are the legs the most affected? Because they are the largest muscles in the body and the ones we use most for essential activities: walking, getting up from a chair, maintaining balance, carrying bags, climbing stairs. Every time we take a step, the legs work to support us. When those muscles weaken, all autonomy is compromised. A person may have a strong heart or a clear mind, but if they lose strength in their legs, they lose their independence. The importance of the legs in longevity cannot be overstated. Research has shown that strength in the legs is directly related to life expectancy. Put another way, people who keep the ability to rise without help, walk safely, and maintain balance tend to live longer and with better quality of life. That's why protecting the muscles of the legs isn't an aesthetic or secondary issue. It's a matter of health and survival. Imagine the story of Michael, a 72-year-old man I met at the community center. For years he led a sedentary life, had only coffee with bread for breakfast, and avoided exercising because he thought it wasn't for him anymore. At first, he noticed only a little fatigue, but over time he stopped climbing stairs because his knees wouldn't cooperate. Then he began to need a cane, and finally he came to depend on others even to get out of bed. His loss of mobility wasn't caused only by age, but by years of poor diet and lack of movement. The most painful part wasn't his weak body, but the sadness of having lost his independence. Michael's story is not unique. Thousands of older adults face the same situation, but the good news is that it isn't inevitable. Sarcopenia can be slowed and in some cases even reversed if action is taken in time. And one of the most powerful moments to begin is in the morning with breakfast. What you choose to eat at the start of the day can make the difference between maintaining strength in your legs or watching them weaken faster than you imagine. The role of morning nutrition. What you eat upon waking is much more than a habit. It's actually a powerful signal that sends your body the message of how it should function for the rest of the day. When you choose well, your muscles receive the energy and nutrients they need to stay strong. When you choose poorly, a silent cycle of fatigue, muscle loss, and lack of vitality begins. After 60, morning nutrition takes on an even more important role. While we sleep, we spend several hours fasting. That means the muscles go a long time without receiving nourishment. In that state, they are more sensitive to what you give them upon waking. If the first thing they receive is quality protein, they activate what's called protein synthesis, a process by which amino acids repair and build muscle fibers. It's like giving a worker bricks and cement just when the structure most needs them to stay standing. Protein at breakfast also activates the metabolism. Put simply, your body starts working, burning energy more efficiently, and that prevents you from feeling weak throughout the day. It even helps keep appetite under control because protein creates satiety and prevents those sudden dips that make us reach for cookies or sweet bread mid-morning. The problem is that many older people still have breakfast the way they did decades ago when their bodies were young and strong. Coffee with sugar, white bread, butter, or cookies. These foods give a feeling of quick energy, but they actually cause a glucose spike, followed by a crash that leaves the body more tired and the muscles without real nourishment to sustain themselves. It's like lighting a fire with paper. It catches quickly, but it goes out right away and leaves nothing to keep the flame alive. By contrast, a nutrient-rich breakfast is like lighting that fire with good firewood. It lasts longer, warms better, and keeps energy alive. Imagine two older adults, both 70 years old. The first has a cup of coffee with white bread and jam for breakfast. The second has a bowl of plain yogurt with oats, fruit, and a handful of nuts. At a glance, both had breakfast. But while the first will feel tired and hungry again in a few hours, the second will have steady energy, fewer cravings, and, most importantly, his muscles will have received the fuel they need to stay strong. The difference between a poor breakfast and a nutrient-rich one becomes evident over the years. Those who repeat empty foods day after day see their legs lose strength more quickly, while those who choose protein, fiber, and vitamins manage to keep a steadier, more confident stride. It's not magic. It's simply giving the body what it's crying out for at the stage when it needs it most. So if you've thought until now that breakfast doesn't matter, today is the time to change that idea. Your mornings can become the best medicine to slow the loss of muscle mass in your legs. And in the next part, I'll tell you about one of the most powerful and easiest foods to include in your routine: the egg, an old ally that remains irreplaceable for older adults. Key Food 1. The egg. Among all the foods out there, one has remained a classic on the tables of millions: the egg. It may seem simple and everyday, but behind that shell is a nutritional treasure that's fundamental for keeping muscles, especially those in the legs, in good shape in old age. The egg contains essential amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. Our bodies can't produce them on their own, so we must obtain them through our diet. These amino acids are the raw material with which muscles repair their fibers after wear and tear, and with which they generate new structures. In other words, every time you eat an egg, you're giving your muscles the bricks they need to stay firm and resilient. Now then, a common question arises. Is it better to eat only the white or also the yolk? For a long time, people believed the yolk was harmful because it contains cholesterol, and many older adults chose to discard it. However, science has shown that the yolk is not only safe in most cases, but also provides indispensable nutrients. That's where vitamins like D and B12 are concentrated, as well as minerals such as iron and phosphorus, plus healthy fats that help absorb other nutrients better. The white, for its part, is very rich in pure, high-quality protein. In reality, the most recommended approach is to eat the whole egg, unless a doctor advises otherwise for a specific health condition. The key is also in the preparation. Frying the egg in abundant oil or pairing it with fatty deli meats can cancel out much of its benefits. Instead, boiling, poaching, hard boiling, making an omelet with vegetables, or scrambling it with a little olive oil is a much healthier option. Adding vegetables like spinach, bell peppers, or zucchini not only improves flavor but also provides fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins that complement the power of the egg. I remember the story of Teresa, a 70-year-old woman I met at a nutrition workshop. For years, she had sweet bread and coffee with sugar for breakfast. Her legs began to lose strength. Climbing the 2 flights of her house was hard, and she needed to rest several times a day. When she learned about the value of the egg, she decided to change her breakfast. Every morning she began making an omelet with 2 eggs, spinach, and a bit of low-fat cheese. After a few months, she noticed a huge change. She no longer needed to stop on the stairs, she could walk longer, and she felt more energetic. Her doctor even told her she had regained some of the muscle mass she had lost. The egg is, without exaggeration, a complete and accessible food that can make a difference in older adults' health. It isn't expensive, you can find it anywhere, and its versatility allows it to be included in breakfast in different ways. Sometimes, the simplest things are also the most effective. Key food 2. Oats. If there's a food that represents simplicity and at the same time the strength of nature, it's oats. At first glance, they may seem modest, but inside those small flakes are nutrients capable of making a difference in the health of any older adult. And the best part is that oats are affordable, easy to find, and very versatile. Oats are rich in complex carbohydrates, which are very different from the simple sugars found in white breads, pastries, or cookies. Complex carbs digest slowly, releasing energy gradually. This means that when you have oats for breakfast, your body receives steady fuel for several hours, without the sugar spikes and drops that cause fatigue and sudden hunger. Instead of that quick energy that disappears by mid-morning, oats offer stable energy that lets you move, walk, and stay active for longer. In addition, oats contain plant protein. Although it isn't as concentrated as animal protein, it contributes to the repair and maintenance of muscle mass. Combined with milk, yogurt, or nuts, it becomes a complete breakfast that nourishes both the muscles and the nervous system. Add to this the fiber, which improves digestion, and minerals like magnesium and iron, which help maintain vitality. Many older adults still opt for ultra-processed cereals in the morning, those that come in colorful boxes loaded with sugar and additives, promising to be nutritious but actually offering only empty calories. The difference between a bowl of oats and a bowl of those cereals is enormous. While oats truly nourish, ultra-processed cereals cause blood sugar spikes that weaken the body over time and increase the risk of diabetes and obesity. It's like comparing a clean, long-lasting fuel with adulterated gasoline that damages the engine. The best part is that oats can be prepared in very simple ways. You can cook them in water or milk until they form a soft porridge and add fresh fruit like banana or apple. You can also leave them soaking in milk overnight to have a chilled version called soaked oats, perfect for hot days. Another option is to mix them with plain yogurt, nuts, and a pinch of honey. You can even make oat pancakes by blending the flakes with egg and banana. All these recipes are easy, affordable, and, most importantly, give your body the energy and nutrients it needs to slow the loss of muscle mass in the legs. I remember Mr. Lewis, a 68-year-old man who used to have coffee with cookies every morning. He always complained that by mid-morning he felt tremendous fatigue and needed to sit down. When he decided to switch his breakfast to a bowl of oats with milk, walnuts, and banana slices, he noticed an immediate difference. He no longer felt weak at 11 in the morning. He could walk more without getting exhausted, and even his doctor told him that his blood sugar level was better controlled. Oats aren't a trendy food or a complicated recipe. They're a powerful tool that, taken regularly, can give your legs the support they need. If you want to begin strengthening your body in the morning, few things are as effective and easy as adding oats to your breakfast. Key food. 3. Plain yogurt or kefir. Plain yogurt and kefir are two allies we often overlook, yet they can make a big difference in muscle health and digestion for older adults. What makes them so special isn't only their protein content, but also the probiotics, those good bacteria that live in our gut and help us absorb nutrients from food more effectively. When you have plain yogurt or kefir for breakfast, you aren't just providing high-quality proteins for muscle repair and maintenance, you're also preparing your digestive system to make the most of the vitamins and minerals in the rest of your diet. Put simply, what you eat truly becomes useful nourishment for your body instead of being lost without absorption. Here, it's important to make a distinction. Not all yogurt is the same. Plain yogurt, without added sugar and without artificial flavors, is the one that offers real benefits. By contrast, those brightly colored, sugar-laden versions sold in supermarkets are practically a dessert disguised as a healthy food. The same goes for kefir. The more natural and less processed, the better. For those who are lactose intolerant, there are solutions. There are lactose-free yogurts that preserve the same amount of protein and probiotics. Moreover, kefir, due to its fermentation process, is often better tolerated by many people who don't digest milk well. There are even plant-based alternatives, such as soy or almond yogurt enriched with probiotics, which can be a valid option. I remember the case of Rose, a 75-year-old woman who always suffered from heavy digestion and fatigue after breakfast. For years, she avoided dairy because she thought it was bad for her, until a nutritionist recommended trying lactose-free plain yogurt at breakfast, combined with oats and fruit. Before long, not only did her digestion improve, but she also began to feel more energetic during the day. The most surprising thing was that her medical checkups showed better absorption of calcium and vitamin D, essential nutrients for bone and muscle health. Plain yogurt and kefir aren't a luxury or a modern whim. They're age-old foods that continue to prove effective in caring for the body, especially at the stage of life when we most need to absorb every nutrient. Including a bowl of plain yogurt in your breakfast may be a small gesture, but its benefits are felt in the strength of your legs, your energy, and your overall well-being. Key food 4. Nuts. Nuts are one of nature's most complete gifts. Small in size but huge in nutrients, they are a source of plant protein, healthy fats, and minerals that strengthen both muscle and bone. For older adults, a handful of nuts in the morning can be the difference between starting the day with weakness or with steady, long-lasting energy. Among their most notable benefits is the presence of healthy fats known as omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. These fats not only protect the heart, but also reduce the inflammation that often affects the joints. Add to that their supply of magnesium, an essential mineral for muscle contraction and the prevention of cramps, and their content of plant proteins that support the preservation of muscle mass. Not all nuts are the same. Among the most recommended are almonds, rich in calcium and vitamin E, which support both bone health and cellular regeneration. Walnuts stand out for their omega-3 content, which benefits the brain and circulatory system. Hazelnuts, for their part, provide antioxidants that combat cellular aging. The ideal is to consume a varied mix to obtain all their benefits. Now then, the key is in the amount. An appropriate morning portion is about a handful, which is roughly 20 almonds or 6 to 8 walnuts. Beyond that, their high caloric content can become a problem, especially if not offset by physical activity. It's not about eating them in excess, but about including them in a balanced way within breakfast. A common mistake is to consume nuts that are fried, salted, or covered in sugar. Those versions lose much of their benefits and add problems such as excessive sodium or unnecessary sugars. It's always better to choose them raw or lightly toasted, without additives. I met Ernest, a 70-year-old man who used to complain of nighttime cramps and constant fatigue. When he began adding a small handful of walnuts and almonds to his breakfast, accompanied by fruit and plain yogurt, he noticed his cramps decreased and his energy during morning walks improved noticeably. It wasn't an immediate change, but after a few weeks he realized he had more strength and fewer discomforts. Nuts are a perfect example of how something so simple and accessible can have a profound impact on health. A handful every morning can become a natural insurance policy for your muscle strength and your body's vitality. Key food 5. Legumes and their derivatives. When we think of legumes, the first thing that comes to mind is hearty midday meals, like a lentil stew or a plate of beans. However, legumes can also become an excellent option for breakfast, especially for older adults who want to preserve the strength of their legs. Chickpeas, lentils, beans, and soy share a high content of plant protein and fiber. Protein helps maintain and repair muscle mass, while fiber promotes slower, steadier digestion, helping nutrients be absorbed gradually and effectively. This means that a breakfast with legumes not only feeds the muscles, but also provides sustained energy throughout the morning. You may wonder how to include them at breakfast. The key is to use light, easy-to-digest forms. Hummus, for example, is a cream made from mashed chickpeas with olive oil and lemon that you can spread on whole grain bread or pair with veggie sticks. Another option is smooth lentil purees, which can be prepared in small portions and served warm on cold mornings. Even cooked beans can be part of breakfast if combined in quick salads with tomato, cucumber, and a little oil. The effect of legumes on muscle health is notable. Their protein helps slow sarcopenia, and their fiber helps keep blood sugar stable, avoiding energy dips that affect physical performance. In addition, being rich in minerals like iron and magnesium, they support the oxygenation of muscles and the proper contraction of muscle fibers. A practical breakfast recipe with legumes could be the following: a slice of whole grain bread spread with chickpea hummus, accompanied by tomato slices and a drizzle of olive oil. It's a simple dish, full of flavor, with a combination of protein, fiber, and healthy fats that nourishes both muscles and the heart. Legumes are clear proof that you don't need to spend a lot of money or rely on complicated foods to care for muscle mass. What has been a dietary staple in many cultures for centuries remains today one of the most effective pillars for keeping legs strong and the body full of energy. The importance of vitamins and minerals. It isn't enough to consume quality proteins and carbohydrates. Muscles and bones also depend on specific vitamins and minerals that act like invisible pieces of machinery. Without them, the system doesn't work properly, and the risk of weakness and frailty increases with age. Vitamin D, for example, is essential for calcium absorption. Without it, the body cannot fix this mineral in the bones, which weakens the structure and increases the risk of fractures. Calcium, for its part, is the main brick of our bones, but it also plays a role in muscle contraction. Magnesium participates in more than 300 reactions in the body, including muscle relaxation, which helps prevent cramps. And potassium, abundant in fruits, regulates nerve and muscle function, maintaining fluid balance in the cells. The good news is that these nutrients can be included in breakfasts quite simply. A glass of milk or a serving of plain yogurt provides calcium and, if fortified, also vitamin D. Nuts like almonds add magnesium, while a banana provides potassium naturally and deliciously. Even a freshly squeezed orange juice can contribute vitamin C, which helps the absorption of iron from other foods. I want to tell you about Richard, a 76-year-old man who used to suffer from leg cramps at night. He was convinced it was simply age, until his doctor recommended adding banana with yogurt to his breakfast, along with a small handful of almonds. In a few weeks, he noticed the cramps became less frequent, and he regained confidence when walking. It wasn't an expensive medication or a complicated therapy, it was just the right combination of nutrients. Including vitamins and minerals isn't a minor detail. They are the silent foundation that supports every movement, every step, every effort. And the best part is that we can obtain them easily with smart morning choices without needing costly supplements in most cases. Common breakfast mistakes. It isn't enough to know which foods help strengthen muscles. It's also essential to recognize the mistakes many older adults make daily at breakfast without realizing they're accelerating the loss of strength in their legs. One of the most frequent mistakes is skipping breakfast. Some people think that by doing so they eat less and keep a healthy weight, but in reality, all they achieve is weakening the body. After so many hours of overnight fasting, muscles need nutrients to start the day. If they don't get them, the body turns to its own reserves, which includes breaking down muscle mass. Over time, this translates into weaker legs and reduced capacity for weight movement. Another common mistake is having only coffee with sugar. Coffee can give a quick sense of energy, but it's a fleeting stimulus. Sugar causes a blood glucose spike that, when it drops, leaves fatigue and sudden hunger. Meanwhile, the muscles go without the amino acids and vitamins they need. It's like trying to start an engine with adulterated gasoline. It runs for a moment, but ends up damaging the system. There's also the habit of overdoing pastries and ultra-processed foods. Croissants, cookies, white breads, and sugary cereals have become morning favorites, but their real contribution is minimal. They are empty calories that increase body fat, raise blood sugar, and do nothing to maintain muscle mass. The worst part is that they create dependence. The more you consume them, the more you crave them, creating a vicious cycle that's hard to break. These habits, repeated day after day, speed up sarcopenia and make strength loss appear earlier than expected. That's why the first thing you must do is avoid these mistakes. It doesn't mean giving up flavor or satisfaction, but rather replacing poor choices with nutritious alternatives that truly care for your legs and vitality. Habits that complement. Nutrition. Nutrition is an essential part of preserving muscle strength, but it's not the only one. There are simple habits that, if you incorporate them into your mornings, multiply the benefits of a good breakfast and help keep your legs firm and resilient. The first is light exercise. We're not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's about moving consistently. A 15 to 20-minute walk at the start of the day activates circulation and wakes up the muscles. Some gentle stretches at home, focusing on the legs and back, also help improve flexibility and prevent injuries. Even sitting and standing multiple times from a chair without using your arms is a powerful exercise to reinforce the muscles of the legs. Another important habit is drinking enough water. After the night, the body is dehydrated, and that lack of fluids affects muscular and mental performance. Having a glass of water upon waking and staying hydrated through the morning is a simple, effective way to care for your body. It's also key to avoid long periods of sitting. Staying still for hours weakens the muscles and stiffens the joints. Standing up from time to time, walking a bit, or making small movements with your legs while seated can make a big difference. Routines don't have to be complicated. You can start the day with a few minutes of deep breathing, stretching, and a nutritious breakfast. Over time, these habits become a natural part of your life, and their cumulative effect is enormous. A body that moves and hydrates well responds better to nutrients, preserves muscle mass, and maintains independence for longer. How to build your ideal breakfast. After reviewing the key foods and the mistakes to avoid, it's time to put the pieces together and build the ideal breakfast. There isn't a single recipe, because everyone has different tastes and needs, but there are simple combinations that meet everything your muscles and your body require. A first option is plain yogurt with oats and nuts. This breakfast provides high-quality protein, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and probiotics that improve digestion. You can add fresh fruit like banana or apple to boost vitamins and minerals. Another alternative is to prepare eggs with vegetables and accompany them with a slice of whole grain bread. That way, you get complete protein, fiber, antioxidants, and steady energy for the entire morning. It's a satisfying breakfast that keeps you active and strong for hours. You can also opt for a plant milk smoothie with banana and seeds like chia or flax. This kind of drink is practical, quick, and light, ideal for those who don't have much appetite upon waking but need to feed their muscles properly. The important thing is to adapt the options to your tastes and your budget. You don't have to spend a lot of money on special products. With basic, easy-to-find ingredients, you can build a breakfast that protects your muscle mass. A good tip is to plan weekly shopping. Having oats, yogurt, eggs, fruits, and nuts on hand guarantees that you'll always have healthy options to start the day. Throughout this video, we've seen that it isn't about eating more, but about eating better. Breakfast can become the secret weapon against the loss of muscle mass in the legs, as long as we approach it as an investment in our future. Let's remember the key foods: the egg, oats, plain yogurt, or kefir, nuts, and legumes. All of them, accompanied by essential vitamins and minerals, form the basis of a breakfast that not only nourishes but also strengthens and protects. We've also learned to identify common mistakes, skipping breakfast, overdoing coffee with sugar, or relying on pastries. And we've seen that small changes in daily routine, like walking, stretching, and staying hydrated, further enhance the effects of good nutrition. The most motivating part is that it's never too late to start. Even if for years you had breakfast the wrong way, today you can turn things around and begin giving your body what it truly needs. With consistency, you'll notice the difference in your energy, your mobility, and the strength of your legs. I invite you to choose at least one of the ideas we shared today and put it into practice as soon as tomorrow. And before you go, I want to ask you something. Tell me in the comments which of these foods is already part of your breakfast and which one you're going to try from now on. I'm sure your experience can inspire many others who are seeking the same as you, a longer, more active life with the independence we all deserve.